Hi everybody, this is Zelenka, and today we're going to make some tomatillo salsa. What I have are several fresh jalapeno peppers, a clove of garlic, peeled yellow onion, some limes that are almost yellow, cilantro, salt, and I throw in a little diced tomatoes for color. Okay, I've got a big bunch of tomatillos here that I've already peeled because I'm going to make a large batch. But when you get your tomatillos, they look like this. You just go ahead and peel them off and make sure you break the stem off with them. And again, just peel it off and put that there. We're going to wash these really good, and then we're going to put them in a pot to boil until they're really light colored green, and you can see that they're kind of pulpy and mushy. We're probably going to use 2 of these limes at the end. The whole onion, diced, but diced large because I'm using a food processor and it tends to puree everything. And I do want some chunks of onion left. Considering I have such a large amount of tomatillos here, I'm going to start out using 2 of these peppers, and if it's not hot enough, I can always add another one. I can check it before I add my cilantro and my lemon juice and stuff. I can and my onion. You want to just do a little taste test to see if it's hot enough. It's easier to add heat than it is to take it out, so you want to start with what you think would be best for the amount of tomatillos that you have. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and wash these, and I'll be back. Okay, so what I've done is I've put the tomatillos, the 2 large jalapenos, and the clove of garlic into a pot to boil, and I'm going to let them do their cooking. But while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these limes ready. I'm just going to quarter them, and so we can put them in the final product there. Okay, now I'm just going to put these in a dish, set them out the way. This has a little brown to it, but that's okay because we're just going to use the juice. Okay, next I'm going to do the onion. Like I said, it can be chopped kind of large because we're going to put it through that food processor, and we don't want it to turn to onion juice. Gonna take this and set it to the side while we wait for our tomatillos. The last thing that you're going to add to this concoction are the lime juice, the onions, your diced tomatoes, and your cilantro. I really like cilantro, so I actually use a lot in my salsa, and I've got quite a few tomatillos. So I think I'm going to use about a half of a bunch here. About a half of a bunch. About, a pretty good handful. And leave that sitting to the side there. This has already been rinsed, but it looks like there's still a little bit of dirt there in the end pieces. So I'm going to take this over to the sink and wash it one more time. I'll be right. Okay, what I've done is I grabbed a bowl to put the excess stuff in here. I'm going to hand this over to my friend over here and ask them to wash that off one more time just in case we need a little extra. Now, here's our cilantro all washed. Now, This is the way I do it. I don't know what the proper way to chop cilantro is, but I just roll it up in a ball. And it's okay if you keep some of the stems there, but as you saw, I cut off the majority of them. And you're just going to cut it. And remember, this is going into the food processor as well, so if you have a few larger pieces, that's fine. This is so aromatic. I love cilantro. And you can leave it out if you don't like it. That's fine too. I'm just gonna give it one more chop here. And it doesn't look like that much, but it's really flavorful stuff. So I'm gonna leave this here on the cutting board while those tomatillos cook, and I'll be back when they're done. Okay, welcome back. This is what I've done while we were gone. I got the tomatillos cooked. I've already blended some up with some of the onion in the food processor so we wouldn't have to spend so much time here. I took the jalapenos and I seeded and deveined them. I'm going to go ahead and put those in the food processor. I saved 3 of the tomatillos. We're going to just put those in. Well, that didn't go in. Okay, now we put the top on, which I'm missing my little thingamajig, but you know, hey, we're in Texas. And I usually use a blender, but my blender went out. Okay, here goes the noisy part. Okay, you want to just run the food processor until you still see some tiny bits of pepper in there. Now, go ahead and take this off. This is easier. Put in these onions. You don't want to do it for very long once you put these in. We're going to add the cilantro. This is going to look really green, but we're going to mix it all together with what we've already got done. That cilantro loves to stick to your fingers. Okay, this is the juice of those 2 large limes. I'm going to add in there. I've already blended up the garlic in the other batch. I'm going to add in here about a good teaspoon of salt. Okay. Now finally, we have our diced tomatoes with green chilies. This is a Parade brand. You can use Rotel, whatever you have, or you can use just any kind of diced tomatoes if you don't want the additional green chilies. This is just for color. We're only going to run the processor for a second to mix this up a little bit. See, now you have a little bit of red floating about in your salsa. Okay, so now
how explosive.
Yeah, well, it might cause some kind of explosion, but we're not really sure.
It smells wonderful.
Okay, and you're going to mix that together. So let me have this little cup back, and I will pour some over in there so you can see what it looks like. There it is in the bowl. It's kind of thick and chunky. It's really, really good. And we're going to let Eugene come over. Grab you a spoon there, Eugene. He's going to go ahead and tell us what he thinks.
Oh my, that's so delicious. Thumbs up for this tasty salsa.
Just to say, at the end, with all the tomatillos that I had, I ended up having to add 3 more peppers. I went ahead and used 3 pickled jalapeno peppers, whole. Put some of the salsa back into the food processor. Dropped the peppers in, poured it back in, and mixed it together. It's a little hotter now. It depends on your taste. You can add a lot more peppers or a lot less peppers. It's really up to you. I ended up having to add to my big bunch about 2 more teaspoons of salt. So I hope you guys enjoy. Bye bye.